Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho. Then I'm going to be giving you some latest news on Ansu Fati from Barcelona. Then I'm going to be giving you some latest news on Richardlson from Everton. Then I'm going to be talking with you about Alexis Sanchez. And then if I have got time, I'm going to go through with you how Manchester United should line up against Sheffield United on Wednesday, because I do presume that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will make changes in that game against Sheffield United from the 1-1 draw with Tottenham on Friday and all of that. So anyway, let's start with the news on Jadon Sancho. So according to Christian Falk, who's a German football expert, he says that Borussia Dortmund are willing to sell Jadon Sancho for just £90 million. By the way, Jadon Sancho was benched in Borussia Dortmund's 2-0 win against RB Leipzig yesterday, because reportedly, Jadon Sancho's already got his head on Manchester United, and that is the main explanation, why Jadon Sancho had been benched. Now, Borussia Dortmund have recently come out and made an admission. This is from the director of football, Michael Zorc, and he says, that they've got element of concerns regarding Jadon Sancho's future. Now, don't forget, Lucien Favre, who's the Borussia Dortmund boss, he said not too long ago that Jadon Sancho could still leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window. Then you had Borussia Dortmund's head of football earlier on this month. He's called Sebastian Kehl, and he said, that Jadon Sancho will stay at Dortmund for another year. So, this is what, their head of football had said. Don't forget, there was also stories coming out not too long ago saying that Sancho is willing to make a return back to Manchester City, because we are struggling, to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price. Of course, Jadon Sancho is a former Manchester City player. He did enjoy 2 years with Manchester City, but the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he did not get any first-team opportunities. Borussia Dortmund paid, £8 million for him. So Borussia Dortmund got him for next to nothing. But analysing the performances in the few years he's been with Borussia Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. So reportedly now he's available for £90 million. Obviously, you had the Telegraph coming out the other week saying that Dortmund want around £115 million for the player. But we've said on quite a few, we said several times, we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. But like I mentioned to you, he is our number one priority target. Fabrizio Romano came out earlier on this week, and he tends to be a very reliable Italian journalist, and he says that Sancho will accept an offer from Manchester United. He did confirm that Man United have not yet put a bid in for the player. He also said the contract's not a problem. I think the stumbling block is Borussia Dortmund's asking price for the player, basically. That's the stumbling block. But the contract isn't a problem in that, because we have been in negotiations with his agent, and we have been working on these contracts for quite some time. But I think Jadon Sancho has revealed that his preferred option is a move to Manchester United, if he does leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window. Now, obviously, the other week Jadon Sancho got fined around £8,000 for breaking lockdown rules. I think, Borussia Dortmund did say the other week they were losing their patience with Jadon Sancho. Something to do with his off-field distractions. This is why. So, we could still get Jadon Sancho on the board. Like I mentioned, there's been other clubs that have been in for him as well. There were stories coming out the other week saying that Liverpool were emerged as the favourites. Chelsea, of course, have also been in for him as well. But if he leaves Borussia Dortmund, I think he will come to Manchester United. He's also, been in regular contact with Marcus Rashford as Jadon Sancho. because, they do have a very, very good friendship, the Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. And I did say, didn't I, that's one of the main explanations why I want Sancho to come at Man United. And plus, he is well Premier League proven. I think Dortmund have been in the process of trying to extend Jadon Sancho's contract, but he's got no intentions of extending his contract. At the moment, Jadon Sancho's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. Yes, he has. And we've already made a promise to Jadon Sancho. We are willing to offer him the number 7. Of course, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. But, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. But my recent number 7s haven't been so consistent in that. I think it did say a while ago, if Sancho is sold in the summer transfer window, Manchester City do benefit from it. I think it did say that they get around 15% of the transfer fee. But Dortmund have already said, they will not step in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window. But maybe, if we was to wait until next summer, then maybe, we could get Jadon Sancho for cheaper than £90 million. It also says as well, maybe us signing Jadon Sancho could depend on, if we get Champions League qualification or not. But he is only the age of 20 and he is predominantly a right winger. And don't forget, Manchester United are in search for a right winger. We are in search for a right winger. And of course, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club. They have let quite a few of their players, go to the Premier League in recent years. Like I mentioned, they let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go. They let Christian Pulisic go. They let Ilkay Gundogan go. They let Shinji Kagawa go. They let Mkhitaryan go. There's also players that they let go who didn't go to the Premier League. That was Ousmane Dembele, Matt Hummels. But there again, Dortmund have recruited quite a few players in recent years. Don't forget, they got Erling Haaland in January. He's been exceptional for them. They got Emre Can, Thorgan Hazard, Julian Brandt. So they have recruited, quite a few players in. But we first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho in 2017 and all of that. But I think, if we do sign Jadon Sancho, then maybe, Mason Greenwood and Daniel James will then operate in different positions in the team. That's what, will happen. But, if we did sign Jadon Sancho, I'd be very, very excited about the prospect of him, playing alongside the likes of Rashford, Martial and, Mason Greenwood in our attacking line. So, yeah, I've been hearing rumours as well saying that a fee's been agreed. But, yeah, they've said now reportedly, they will accept £90 million because we've said, we're not willing to pay £100 million for Jadon Sancho. We are looking at a few alternatives to Jadon Sancho, obviously, if we don't sign him. And, these cheaper solutions than Jadon Sancho, like I've mentioned, there's been recent stories coming out saying that we've been in for Leon Bailey from Bayer Leverkusen. It also says that Man City have been in for Leon Bailey. Reportedly, he's valued at around £40 million. He's valued at around £40 million. So, we have looked at quite a few alternatives in that. There were stories coming out a while ago saying that we was looking at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. Also said we was interested in Figo Almeida, from Vert Sarsfield. But yeah, I think there's a great chance, we could get Jadon Sancho on the board. So, that is the latest news on him. Now let's delve into the news on Ansu Fati Vieira from Barcelona. So reportedly now, Ansu Fati has made a decision on his future and he's got no interest in leaving Barcelona. Now, reportedly, we've been notified that we have to smash our transfer record to get Ansu Fati. Reportedly, we've got to pay around £350 million for him because reportedly he's going to be signing a new contract with Barcelona and it will include a release clause of £350 million, I think it said. So let's now fully disregard Ansu Fati, to Manchester United. Publication Sports said not too long ago that, Man United have already had 2 bids turned down for the player. Of course, the other week we had an £89 million bid turned down for him. I think the second bid, we put £135 million bid in, that also got turned down. Obviously, we'd offered like 90 odd million up front with 40 odd million in add-ons and that. So yeah, I can't see Ansu Fati leaving Barcelona. He is only at the age of 17, very, very young. This has been his first season in Barcelona's senior squad because he made his senior debut last year. And I think he has he got a contract with Barcelona? It's until 2022, is it, or something like? I can't remember his contract. I think it's 2022. I think Ansu Fati's been at Barcelona now a good 7 years. He joined Barcelona in 8 years. He joined Barcelona from 2012 from Sevilla. Of course, George Mendes the other week was speaking to Barcelona, regarding Ansu Fati Vieira's valuation. The Barcelona director, denied that, they'd held talks with Man United regarding Ansu Fati Vieira. So, yeah, I'm going to fully disregard that now. So, that is the latest news on him. And he is actually, by the way, I think predominantly a left winger. Now, let's give you the news on Richardlson from Everton. So, according to recent reports, Richardlson has revealed that he has received offers from Manchester United and Barcelona this season. But he's also explained why he turned down offers to Barcelona and Manchester United because, he did say that he didn't want to leave Everton in the middle of the season. And then, of course, he didn't want to leave his teammates. By the way, Everton have recently denied an £85 million move. They've denied an £85 million bid, I think, from Barcelona, something like that. They've denied these reports. Richardlson, very, very good player. I think, Everton did get Richardlson in 2018. Well, July the 24th, 2018. Everton got him for around, was it 35 million? Well, it started off at 35 million pounds, but I think it potentially rises up to around 50 million pounds. I think last year he signed a new contract with Everton, so he has got a contract with Everton until 2024 as Richardlson. But I think he's done very, very well for Everton. To be quite honest with you, I thought he was also pretty impressive. When he was at Watford. Obviously, before he was at Watford, he was at Fluminense, and I think before that he was in America. Richardlson is only at the age of 23. So this is what he's revealed, that he received offers from Barcelona and Man United. He is flattered by the interest. He's flattered by the interest. Because of being of big clubs. Being in for the player, but I think he's insisted. That he is happy with Everton, but so there you go. So that is the latest news on Richardlson. I'd definitely take him at Manchester United if the opportunity was there. Can score goals, can lead the lines. His hold-up play is very, very good. But there you go. And now, let's give you the latest news on Alexis Sanchez. Let's give you the news on him. So I was reading stories about a day or so ago, and it does now say that Inter Milan have been in negotiations with Manchester United over extending Alexis Sanchez's loan for next season. So what Inter Milan are saying is, they might want to keep Sanchez, for next season. Now, of course, I spoke with you about Sanchez, was it the other week? And it said, that Sanchez is likely to come back to Manchester United after his loan spell with Inter Milan. But it did say, he'd only come back on one condition, and that's if, Sanchez is willing to accept a squad role, because that's all that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer he's willing to offer him. So he'd be like a backup, would Alexis Sanchez. But we do know that Sanchez is going to be staying at Inter Milan for the remainder of this season. He did join Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer, did Sanchez. 10-month loan. Inter Milan, by the way, have got no option to buy Sanchez, or there's no obligation to buy Sanchez at the end of the loan. He's endured a very, very difficult time at Inter Milan as Sanchez. Don't forget, he had a dislocated ankle not too long ago, and I think, he was out with this dislocated ankle for around 3 months. Despite the fact that Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan, don't forget we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. We're still paying Sanchez around, 300 grand a week, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000, something like that. But it was a shame, that we couldn't get rid of Sanchez permanently. But I did say, we would have found it difficult to get rid of him permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. Because his wages at Man United, were, 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. Sanchez, did enjoy a difficult 18 months with us. Of course, we did get him in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. Obviously, we thought Sanchez would have lived up to expectations, but he didn't. He didn't. He failed to rediscover the form of what he produced at Arsenal and Barcelona when he was younger, when he played under Pep Guardiola's guide. And Sanchez has still got a contract with us until 2022. So Inter Milan, are looking to extend his loan for another season. But that's, very, very positive news for us because, we don't want Sanchez back at the football club. So there you go. So that is the latest on all of the transfer news anyway. Now, I am going to go through with you how Manchester United, should line up in the game against Sheffield United this Wednesday. Like I said, it's going to be a difficult game against Sheffield United on Wednesday. It's going to be a very, very tough game. Obviously, it's a must-win game for Manchester United, obviously, to keep our top four ambitions alive. As it stands at the moment, we are, sitting fifth in the Premier League. I think, and we are just 2 points behind Chelsea. So this is a must-win game for Man United. And I've admired Sheffield United, because they've enjoyed an exceptional season. No one expected Sheffield United to be in the position, that they're in. Chris Wilder, has done an absolutely amazing job for them. Progressing them all the way from League One to 7th or 6th in the Premier League. I think Sheffield United is it the 5th club in his managerial career? Because before he was at Sheffield, I think he was at Oxford, Northampton, Halifax and Alfred Town, if I'm right. I think this has been now his 4th season with Sheffield United, by the way, because Sheffield United got Chris Wilder in 2016. They got him in 2016, and Sheffield United have got some good players. They've got McBurney, they've got Norwood, they've got John Fleck, they've got Billy Sharp, they've got obviously, Jack Rodwell, they've got Phil Jagielka. So, they have, got some good players. The reverse fixture against Sheffield United was 3-3, at Bramall Lane. We was 2-0 down in that game. We showed good determination to obviously, get back into the game. But obviously, we, conceded right at the end and that. But, hopefully, we can beat Sheffield United. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches this game. So I think the way Solskjaer, should line up. Well, I'll go through, I think the players, he should drop. And then I'll go through the lineup after that. So I think in this game against Sheffield United, Solskjaer, will drop Fred. Because, Fred obviously, started in the Tottenham game. And I think, Paul Pogba, should be starting this game against Sheffield United, because Paul Pogba didn't start the game against Tottenham. I felt as though Pogba should have started the game against Tottenham, but he didn't. But he did come on as a substitute, and he made an absolutely fantastic impact. That was Paul Pogba's first appearance for the club in 176 days. And of course, he was the one that got us the penalty as well. So I think Solskjaer, will start Pogba in the game on Wednesday against Sheffield United. I really, really do. I think, he should start Greenwood in this game as well against Sheffield United. And I think he actually also dropped Daniel James because Daniel James wasn't too good against Tottenham on Friday. Also, too, I think Lindelof, should be dropped for the game against Sheffield United. And, I'd actually, put Eric Bailly ahead of Victor Lindelof for this game because Victor Lindelof, struggled a lot against Tottenham. He was caught out far too many times on the counter-attack. So, yeah, drop him. Some United fans, would say drop Anthony Martial and, maybe, put Ighalo there instead of Anthony Martial. But I did say, didn't I, that Ighalo starts now will be limited at the football club, because obviously, now Marcus Rashford is back. Don't forget the other week we extended Odin Ighalo's loan at the football club until the end of January 2021. So Ighalo's going to be staying with us for another 7 months with no option to buy a Gallo. There's no obligation to buy, so after the loan, he will go back to Shanghai Shenhua. He'll probably, end up starting Martial though in the game against Sheffield United. I don't think he was good against Tottenham. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch. He had a couple of decent chances, did Martial. As you all know, Martial has been playing in that number 9 role this season. And to be honest with you, he seems to be effective in that central position, but actually, Martial predominantly plays out wide on the left. Because in the 4 previous seasons, Martial has been playing on, he's been playing out wide. Martial, has done really, really well under Solskjaer, to be fair. I think, one of the best seasons he enjoyed was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We did pay around £36 million for Martial, potentially rising up to 58 million based on goals and achievements and all of that. And we did get Martial as a 19-year-old and he is now 24. Some United fans, would say put Martial back out wide and put Rashford in that central position. But I can see, in this game against Sheffield United, Solskjaer making around 3 or 4 changes from the 1-1 draw with Tottenham. But, if we do beat Sheffield United, we will extend our unbeaten run to 13 games in all competitions, because as it stands at the moment, we are unbeaten in our last 12 games in all competitions. And, it is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. So let's go through the lineup now then. So this is how I think we're going to line up against Sheffield United. The preview will be coming up probably tomorrow. The preview will be coming up. I don't think it will be tonight. So how we're going to line up, I think, David De Gea, of course, will be in goal. David De Gea will be in goal. Like I said, David De Gea has been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years. And he's going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper for the remainder of this season. But like I said to I said on my video yesterday, Solskjaer's got big decisions to make at Manchester United. He's got a decision to make on David De Gea and Dean Henderson, because, there has been narratives coming out saying that we are considering making Dean Henderson our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. Making him our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. And Solskjaer did say not too long ago that, he thinks Dean Henderson will be England's number 1 and Man United's number 1 goalkeeper in the future. At the moment, Dean Henderson is out on loan with Sheffield United. This has been his 2nd season on loan with Sheffield United, and he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. He's had quite a few loan spells as well, with Grimsby, Stockport and Shrewsbury. He has got a contract with us until 2022. We won't get rid of Dean Henderson permanently because he's got... He's the foreseeable future for Man United, and we're seeing him as a long-term replacement for De Gea. There's also been stories coming out regarding Dean Henderson, saying that Chelsea are now interested in him. They're planning to put a huge bid in for him. Reportedly, they're willing to offer around £50 million for Dean Henderson, but I don't think we'll let him go. Chelsea are seeing him as a replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga, basically, in that. But yeah, we know for the remainder of this season, David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper. I think, personally, we should drop David De Gea. But obviously, we can't do that because obviously, with Romero's obviously, not reliable enough, to become our number 1 goalkeeper for the remainder of this season. Of course, David De Gea, got criticised a lot by Roy Keane. Roy Keane said on Sky Sports at half-time, that, David De Gea and Harry Maguire, should get their taxes back to Manchester. He was saying, David De Gea is overrated. I think he said something about, punched him in the face, something like that. And he did say, he's sick to death of David De Gea. And, that's reflecting on the amount of mistakes he has made in the last couple of years. David De Gea is now into his, 9th season at Manchester United. He has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. De Gea's nearly made 400 appearances for the club in all competitions. But, David De Gea is still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, reflecting on what he's achieved at Manchester United. He's obviously, won the club's player of the year quite a few times as well. But, in the last couple of years, he has been a liability. That's one admission I have got to make. David De Gea is the highest paid goalkeeper in the world and is the highest paid at the club because, he's on £375,000 a week. But Solskjaer actually, came out and defended David De Gea. So he responded to Roy Keane's criticism. But some people believe, Roy Keane went over the top. So yeah, David De Gea in goal against Sheffield United. Obviously Wan-Bissaka at right back. He'll keep his place at right back because obviously, he's our first choice right back anyway. I think he's enjoyed a very, very good season for us as Wan-Bissaka. Against Tottenham on Friday, I think his decision making was poor. He was a bit loose in possession. At times he did okay going forward. But he's done well for us for the vast majority of this season. Got him last summer from Palace for around £45 million. I think we're going to go with Bay and Harry Maguire at the back. I know it's been Lindelof alongside Maguire this season. They've been our first choice centre-halves, but Solskjaer could actually, rest Lindelof in this one and put Bay there instead. My only element of concern about Eric Bay is that he's injury prone, but prior to that, very, very good centre-half. Left back, of course, it will be Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I think, will remain our first choice left back for the remainder of this season. We're facing a bit of a dilemma at left back. Solskjaer's got a decision to make at left back. Because our left backs are Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams, and of course Brandon Williams has enjoyed an exceptional season for us. But Brandon Williams, I think, needs to gain a bit more experience first. Luke Shaw is obviously more experienced than Williams. Luke Shaw is now into his 6th season at Manchester United. We did pay £30 million in from Southampton. My only element of concern about Shaw is that he's injury prone. I thought against Tottenham, Shaw, you can say he was accountable for Steven Bergwijn's goal for heading it on. Again, his decision making wasn't so good. He couldn't really carve any openings, so he didn't have a great game against Tottenham. But I think he will start left back against Sheffield United. But there again, if we go with like 3 at the back or maybe 5 at the back, then we can play Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams in the same team. But I think we're probably going to go with the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1. In the midfield, I think we're going to go with Pogba and McTominay in that midfield. Like I said, Pogba enjoyed an exceptional game against Tottenham when he came on. McTominay did quite well against Tottenham. Regained the possession a lot. Fred also had a good game against Tottenham. He kept hold of the ball well, but I don't think he'll start this game. Obviously, ahead of Pogba and McTominay will be Fernandes in that number 10. Good to see, Fernandes scoring again. He scored from the penalty spot against Tottenham. I think that's 4 goals now and 4 assists for Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United. Manchester United. I think on the right-hand side, Mason Greenwood. On the left-hand side, Marcus Rashford. And up front, Anthony Martial. So this is the lineup I think, we are going to go with against Sheffield United. I think, we have got more or less a fully fit squad. Well, I think there's 2 injuries we've got, I think, and that's Phil Jones and Alex Tuanzebe. But prior to that, Manchester United have got a fully fit squad. But like I said, we have got quite a few priorities. Not only the top 4. The FA Cup and the Europa League is a priority. They are priorities for us as well, because that's a chance of us, winning some silverware under Solskjaer. And like I've said on my recent videos, if we could win the FA Cup, if we could win the Europa League, and we could get the top 4, that would be a fantastic achievement for Solskjaer and Manchester United. We've got 8 games remaining now, and I think we've got the easiest running out of all the Premier League teams. I think out of these 8 games, we should win at least 6 of them. We should win at least 6 of them, we should. So we should register at least 18 points. But I'm still very, very convinced that we can get that top 4, because we need that top 4, so we can have a competitive summer transfer market. It will also generate money as well, if we get into that top 4. But there again, it all depends on Manchester City's 2-year European ban, because if that gets upheld, then 5th place is a Champions League spot. 5th place is a Champions League spot and all of that. But there'll be things that Solskjaer would have learned from the 1-1 draw against Tottenham. Like I said, he got some things right against Tottenham, he got some things wrong. What I mean is, he tactically got some stuff right, tactically got some stuff wrong. So I think against Sheffield, he'll probably, make some kind of tactical change. He really, really will and all of that. But I'm very, very convinced, that we can finish the season on a high. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches the summer transfer window. I was hearing the other week that our transfer budget had been revealed. It said, we're going to be giving around £270 million to spend in the summer transfer window. Now, if that is the case, you know, that should be enough for us, to get, the number of players, that we do want in. Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. There's decisions that Solskjaer's got to make in the summer transfer window as well, what players he's going to recommend in, and of course, what players he's going to get rid of. Solskjaer's planning to get rid of more of the deadwood at the football club. He has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he came in, but, there's still deadwood at the club he needs to get rid of. We'll be looking to offload Jones, Smalling and Rojo. We'll be looking to get rid of Smalling and Rojo on permanent transfers. Looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. Looking to get rid of Andres Pereira and all of that. So I think we're going to get rid of at least 5 players in the summer transfer window. Don't forget, we have got a decision to make on Angel Gomez, because at the moment Angel Gomez is stalling on a new contract at Manchester United. Solskjaer did say in his press conference prior to the Tottenham game that Angel Gomez was close to signing a new contract with the club, but no agreement has yet been reached. I think reportedly the new contract we've offered him is around £30,000 a week, but we've put forward a few contract offers for Angel Gomez, but he has turned these down. He's found game time difficult as Angel Gomez, but there's a few young players that have found game time hard. Gomez, Chong, James Garner, they've all found game time very, very difficult as well. So these decisions that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has got to make and that. Of course, Solskjaer's been at the club now. I think he's been here over a year and a half now. I think he's been permanent Manchester United manager for around, 16 months or something like that. He's been Manchester United manager for around 16 months, yeah. But, we give Solskjaer the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Like I've said on my recent videos, I have seen improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, there's players that have improved under him, especially the top players. Also, too, have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer and that. What I mean is he's brought the players that he wanted to recommend in so far. He spent just over £200 million at the football club. Like I said, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. So far I have taken positives from his tenure. But what saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Man United, was the wins against the likes of City and Tottenham earlier on in the season. The signing of Bruno Fernandes, that's definitely saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United as well. That has definitely saved his job. But give him at least another season, like I said, because it is a transition period. And like Solskjaer said at the beginning of this year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he knows he has got the backing of the Glazers, so there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.